What's up, guys and gals? Mirror Mask here today. As you can see, different jacket, different vehicle. Let's check it out. 2017 Hyosung GD250R, also known as the XFR. Just picked it up yesterday, first ride today. You guys are going to come along with me. I've only ridden it, let's see how many miles. 4. That's it. 4 miles. And that 2 of that was one of it was them assembling it and doing a test run. The other mile was me yesterday at the dealership doing a quick loop, and the other 2 miles was me riding it right here to do a review on it. So what I'm gonna do is tell you guys a little bit about this, because I know a lot of you are going to be super interested in this bike, and I'm going to explain to you what Hyosung is. If some of you never heard of it, I'm sure some of you have, and I'm sure a lot of you mispronounce it and call it Hyosung. It's actually Hyosung. I lived in South Korea for a while. You guys know if you watch some of my earlier videos. I saw a lot of these bikes on the street. Not this particular model. This is one of their newer models that came out in 2017. I just mean the Hyosung brand. It's not Hyosung, it is Hyosung. What XIV means, because I've seen, I think SRK Cycles and a couple other people said that this is just random letters. No, it's not. Let me explain what this is. Alright, XIV is one of the very first sport bikes that Hyosung ever made a long time ago. Now, this company, Hyosung's been around since like the 70s, so they've been building bikes for, like close to 50 years. They started out building engines and stuff for Suzuki. A lot of their Hyosung bikes have some Suzuki heritage to them in the design. But what XIV is one of the very first bikes that they built under their brand was called the XIV, the Hyosung XIV. This, fast forward to 2017, this is the XFR, designed to pay homage to the very first bike called the Hyosung XIV. Right here, I've seen people not know what this means. Easy suit. Alright, what the Hyosung Easy Suit system is if you see right here on the rear, on the pegs for your rear set section, you see these 2 sections right here? There's 2 Allen wrench bolts. You take these out, you take those spacers out, you can change the riding position. They also make a set that goes up here where you can change the angle of your bars up there. So that is what the Easy Suit means. It's not just some random logo, and this is not just some random letters. So now you guys are aware of what those mean. XFR is the R version of the XIV, paying homage to one of the very first bikes they ever made. Easy Suit is the adjustable pegs and all that. Alright, so we'll take it for a ride now, crank it up, let you guys hear it. Not a bad sounding exhaust. This is single cylinder, 250cc, single rear monoshock, preload adjustable, not adjustable up front. This bike rides super aggressive. The riding position is very, very aggressive. When I first got on it, I was actually very, very surprised at how forward the riding position are. Hyosung has been around since the late 70s. They're a big conglomerate of all these different types of businesses in South Korea. Hyosung is the father company or parent company to KR Motors. You see that KR right there? KR Motors is the actual builders and makers of these bikes, and KR Motors is underneath the Hyosung umbrella. So that's why you see Hyosung on these bikes, but you also see KR on these bikes. Now, these bikes are extremely well built. Okay, this is not Chinese. This is not a Chinese bike. This is a South Korean bike. You know, think of brands like Kia, like Hyundai, Daewoo. You know, these are all big brands over there, and so is Hyosung. Now, Hyosung has been fighting to get into the American market for a while, and I know all these Americans like to dog them and joke them and all this stuff, and it's because a lot of them don't even really know they're from South Korea. They think they're Chinese bikes. This is not, I'll repeat again, not a Chinese bike. This is extremely well built. When you sit on it, you understand just how solid this thing feels. This is a very, very solid feeling bike. I'm going to have to adjust the levers. They do come with adjustable levers. I got to get around to adjusting them though, but that's all right. So we'll go for a ride. I'm wearing some new gear today, new helmet, new jacket. Now I am still during the break-in period, but I do hard break-ins. I don't do the soft break-in stuff. Now this bike is freaking fast for a 250. This is probably one of the fastest 250s that you can get. I'm still scrubbing in the tires, so you know I don't want to do any really crazy maneuvers there. I'm at 72 miles an hour in 4th gear. This is a 6-speed transmission, so I mean you can see this bike's got some get up and go. It'll probably now I'm not gonna lie, it'll top out at around 100 miles an hour. I mean that's just how it is. It's a 250, but it's got a lot of low-end punch. That is because, ooh, don't get out of the way, please. That is because there's a single-cylinder thumper, and for those that don't know, a single-cylinder, you get way more torque because that 250cc is not split between two pistons. It's one single piston, which means this is a larger surface area, which means it's got more push. Very comfortable bike. Not a lot of buzz in the handlebars. I'm very impressed with this. Now, this is not a test ride. This is my own personal machine. I just went and bought it yesterday. I'm pretty sure I got a lot of air rushing up in my helmet because I can feel it. I don't have a chin skirt on it, so I apologize if there's going to be some wind noise in this video. I'll try to slow it down so there's not so much. Wow, the engine braking is insane, dude. The brakes are really, really good too. The rear brakes, the front brakes, I can feel them biting really well. I thought they were going to be a little mushy. They're not. They're actually very solid feeling brakes. The handling is on point on this bike. The position, everything just feels solid. Nothing feels cheap. None of the metal. Now the gas tank, the gas tank has a plastic cover over it. Like this right here is plastic, but it's metal underneath. It's not a plastic gas tank. It's just a plastic cover over it. You've got the projector style headlights in the front, LEDs all around, turn signals, everything. Your speedometer, your tachometer, your gear indicator, fuel gauge. I believe a temperature gauge on there as well. All that's up front on the dash, looking great. I'm still scrubbing the tires in, like I said, so I'm about to do what I gotta do, you know, stay under certain speed. Wow, man, full stop with just the rear brake. That was kind of a lot more grip on the rear brake than I thought. Earlier I'd hit both brakes at the same time. Scrub the tires in a little bit. So far, very impressed with the punchiness of this bike. It's got some super low-end torque to it. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Plenty of passing power. Wow, man, this bike, for a 250, you could definitely get in trouble with this. I was up to 70 miles an hour before I even knew what was going on. That's impressive. I'll hand it that. That's impressive. So far, I'm loving this bike, man. I don't have any complaints about it. The handling is on point. The riding position is super, super aggressive. And I see now why there's that giant wall of a hump on the gas tank. Let's see what kind of takeoff we got from third gear only. Not bad. Yeah, right here, this tank is really, really tall compared to the seat. And you'll figure that out real quick when you sit on it and you ride it and you go to brake and you go to handle and all that stuff. You'll appreciate that super tall, steep, just flat. It's not a curve, it's just a flat wall going straight up. It's because of how aggressive this bike rides. Now, it's supposed to rain, so I'm kind of disappointed with the week because it's showing rain for the whole week. But I woke up this morning, the sky was blue. I said, let me jump on this bike. I haven't ridden it yet. I just bought it, just brought it home. I'm eager to ride it. It's blue, sky's blue. Let's hop on it, let's go. Let's do a video. But you guys are definitely gonna be able to look forward to more videos coming from this GD because, wow, the suspension is really, really, I don't want to call it, it's not stiff in a bad way, but like stiff in a good way. Like it's not mushy. I mean, it feels like a fucking proper suspension. I mean, this thing, the handling is insane on this bike. Look at this. Crazy. Now this would make an excellent commuter bike. Excellent commuter bike. It's got the styling, so I mean, you don't feel like a beginner bike, but you guys know how I feel on that. I don't believe in beginner bike, expert bike, advanced bike. I don't believe in any of that garbage. I believe in there's city bikes, you know, which are like commuter style, and then there's highway bikes. That's it. There's only really two categories. There's city bikes, there's highway bikes. If you're on a 250, you're on a city bike. If you're on a, I don't know, like a SV650, you're on a city bike. If you're on a Harley Davidson Iron 883, you're on a city bike. You know, if you're on an R1, you're on a highway bike. If you're R6, you're a highway bike. Basically, bikes that are small, nimble, handle really well, and it's got a lot of low-end punchy power, those are city bikes. Because that's what they're intended to, as a commuter, as a city commuter kind of thing. Doesn't mean you can't take them on the highway. Of course you can. You can take this on the highway. It just means they're designed to weave in and out of traffic. Whereas bigger, you know, R6s and R1s, I know you like to think they weave really well because you think, well, they handle really well on the track. Yeah, but they don't maneuver the same way a smaller bike designed for that does. So that's why I categorize them that way. I don't believe in the beginner bike label. I mean, that's stupid because look at the logic behind it. A 125cc is a beginner bike. A 250cc is a beginner bike. A 500, a 400cc, those are beginner bikes. You get in the cruiser world, a 650 is a beginner bike. An 883 is a great beginner bike. So you've got a range between 125cc and damn near 900cc, and you're telling me that full range is 900cc's, and you wonder why people get confused. Let's stop all this beginner bike junk, and let's go with city bike, highway bike. Let's use those labels, because a lot of people get, I don't know, man, they don't want to jump into the motorcycle world because they're like, all I can afford is a 250 or a 300cc bike, but I don't want everybody to think I'm a beginner. Well, I wouldn't think you're a beginner. Most riders wouldn't think you were a beginner unless you ride like a beginner, unless you wear gear like a beginner. By wear gear like a beginner, I mean you don't wear any gear at all. You go out and squid it up. Most people are those are the signs that say you're a new rider. You know, if I pass you on the street, don't be embarrassed to be on a 250, man. I've been riding 20 years. I've ridden everything from, you know, a 125cc to on up. I've ridden a lot of bikes, and I've owned a lot of bikes, and I'm telling you, after 20 years, I'm still in my 30s. I went and bought a 250. What of it? You know what I'm saying? All right, now, story time. This is crazy. I felt like a celebrity when I went to buy this bike. And you may wonder why, and I'm about to tell you why. Alright, first of all, I got this from Wild Motorsports. Or Wild Motorcycles. I keep wanting to throw motorsports on there. Wild Motorcycles. Salesman James. Now, you may have seen James and Wow in Chase on Two Wheels videos, or Do It With Dan videos, or a couple other motovloggers videos. They are an awesome damn dealership, man. Huge inventory, a hell of a lot to choose from. They do have accessories and gear and stuff too. Not as much as, you know, some other dealers, but that's just the way of dealerships these days. They just don't stock that stuff that much anymore, because a lot of people buy online. But yeah, James, excellent salesman, super cool, easy to work with, man. Just great all-around guy. But here's my experience. All right, so I go there to pick the bike up, and while I'm waiting on the paperwork and stuff, these two Koreans walk in, and James is like, oh, James gets super excited. He's like, hey, that's the Hyosung people. And in my head, it was like, Hyosung, James, Hyosung, not Hyosung, Hyosung, but whatever. That's what I think in my head every time I hear somebody say it, Hyosung. And so I went and met them, and they were super excited too, and we talked for a while, and I told them, you know, where I lived when I lived in South Korea. I lived in Masan and Cheonan, and they were like, oh, Masan, oh, you know, our headquarters is like 40 miles down the road from there. I was like, oh, that's awesome. You guys must be around the Busan area. They're like, yeah. And I was like, that is so cool. And they gave me like a special Hyosung keychain, like, because they don't make keychains for Hyosung, but the executives and all them people get them. And they just gave me one. Like, they took it off his key ring. This executive guy took it off his key ring and gave it to me. I mean, it was like a brand new, and I was like, oh, that is super cool. And you know, I talked to them a little bit in Korean. You know, I greeted them and I said thank you and all that stuff. And they were impressed by that. I was impressed by the fact that I was meeting the people, not the representatives, the people. You know, Hyosung themselves. There I am, meeting them. Awesome. I've been a huge fan of their bikes ever since they came out. I saw them a lot. I never owned one in South Korea, but I rode a Hyosung over there. But yeah, so I was super excited. They were super excited. Then all of a sudden we were like taking photos. Like, they pulled my bike in front of the map of the world or something, the Wild Motorcycles map of the world. And that, like, the dealership was taking photos. There must have been like 8 people over there with me or something, or 5, 6, I don't know. There's people over there. And then the South Koreans wanted their photos with their cell phones, and like, it turned into this big deal. I was like, shit, man, I feel like a damn celebrity up in here. This is pretty freaking cool. Oh man, the engine brake is insane on this thing. I'm gonna roll on forward here. Make sure I get this a proper brake in on there, because even though I'm hard braking in, I still want to, golly, man, this 4th gear's pretty badass on here, man. You would not expect this 4th gear to take you all the way to top speed. That's crazy. But I'm gonna start, you know, changing up my revs a little bit, accelerating, deaccelerating, engine braking, that kind of stuff. All right, yeah, so that was super cool. James said he's gonna get me those photos, so you'll probably see those in a future video. But it was crazy, man. It was a crazy day. You know, they helped me load it up and everything, and went on about my way. And then I went to Cycle Gear, and I picked up this jacket, which I'm not happy with this jacket. I am happy with it, but I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with it because there's no adjustable straps, and I don't like where the armor sits in the arms. It feels a little loose. But I got you guys won't be able to see it. Maybe you can, I don't know. I got the Punisher helmet with the HJC CL, what is it, CL17 Punisher helmet, because it's black and it's got the Punisher, the white Punisher skull over the front. super badass looking helmet. Seems to be pretty damn quiet, if I'm being honest. It seems a lot quieter than my Scorpion Exo helmet. But then again, that was a dual sport helmet that I took the peak off of and rode it in street mode. Super happy I was able to get my camera mounted where I wanted it mounted. You know, man, this is just a really great riding bike. I'm super impressed with this. I probably should have rode it to Dothan. Because I got to go to Dothan Power Sports. I want to pick up a cover for this, as well as go and check some other stuff out while I'm in Dothan. Oh, I didn't even realize that shifted down. I got to adjust this clutch lever. I will say that. It's so park it right here real quick. I might have to turn the cables. I thought it was gonna have, you know, something I could easily get to adjust it, but it doesn't. All right, that's fine. Whatever. I still can't get over how aggressive this shit is. Oh man, I gotta pull that clutch all the way in. See what I'm saying? Like, I'm used to doing it like this with 2 fingers, but these fingers block it from pulling it all the way in, so I have to do it with 4. I can't do it like this. I tried to quick shift it really quick and it just caught my finger and smashed it, and I didn't shift the gear. Yeah, I'll have to adjust that because I like it to be a little further up where it catches at. So I'll see if I can make an adjustment on that. It's going to be a good 100 miles before these tires are really properly scrubbed in. I've only got 18 on it at the moment, so I got a little ways to go on that. Engine brake a little bit. Pretty good exhaust note on this too. For a single cylinder, I really like where the exhaust is. They have it up under the body. Pretty decent exhaust note. Yeah, this thing, I keep saying it, but wow, this thing just feels solid, man. It feels solid. And I keep emphasizing that because I know it's solid. You know, I've ridden Hyosungs before. I've ridden them in their mother country. But I'm trying to emphasize to all you guys out there that, you know, are not 100% sure, you've never sat on a Hyosung. You've seen them and you're like, damn, that is a sick, wicked looking bike. And it's affordable. Oh, but that's Chinese. No, it's not Chinese. It's South Korean. You know, they're South Koreans are very, very, very meticulous and precise with their stuff. They're not Chinese. They don't just throw shit together. I'll give you a perfect example. When I lived in Montgomery, they were building a new Hyundai plant where they were building the Hyundai cars and stuff up around Montgomery. And I had friends that worked at that plant, and they said, man, let me tell you something. Their assembly line is so freaking precise. Like, they are super strict. He said, every day you go and you check out a wrench. Like, if you're one person that assembles this or something like that, you go and you check out a wrench. If you drop that wrench on the floor, because those wrenches are so precise, that if you drop that wrench on the floor, you have to go and turn it in and report that it was dropped and get a brand new one. Because, you know, same kind of ideas with a helmet. You know, it could slightly bend it, it could slightly put a fracture in it, it could slightly do something that would throw off the precision. So, you know, that's just, you know, that's not Chinese right there. You get what I'm saying? That's not Chinese. Chinese drop a wrench, they'll just pick that shit back up and go with it. But now, yes, granted, that's Hyundai and not Hyosung, you may say, but the point I'm getting at is that's the same mentality that Hyosung approaches it with. They're super precise. Everything fits well on this. The fit and finish is really, really, really impressive. The engine, this is a heavy bike though. And that's not in a bad way. I mean, that's a good, for a 250, you want a little weight. I'll put it this way. This bike's heavier than my Ninja 250 was a long time ago, back in 07 when I got that one. That bike was so light, you just got thrown around on the highway. You just got thrown around. This actually has some damn stability to it because it weighs like 350 freaking pounds. That Ninja 250 was like 280 or something. So, I mean, you got some plant weight with this. I'm gonna ride this thing around town real quick. I'm really just trying to enjoy as much of some riding time right now as I can get, because I know, shoot, in about 2 hours it's gonna be flooding over here. It's gonna be pouring rain, and I won't be able to ride for the next week, it seems like. Sucks, but that's just how it is. So you guys just enjoy the rest of the video. It's just gonna be the sounds of riding. I may comment every now and then, but I'm just gonna get a little ride in right now. Yeah, this thing's got some pull power at 70 miles an hour. You can pass somebody at 70. Not as quick as a bigger bike, obviously, but you can do it. Let's see what a full tuck feels like, how comfortable. Let's do that. Oh yeah, rest right up on that tank. Roll with it. That's a nice windshield. Windshield works great. Awesome, awesome. I'm not gonna do a top speed run just yet. I'm gonna let myself get about 100 miles on here before I do that. Can you guys, I don't know if you can tell in the right here in the rear view, if you can see it. You see my arms, my sleeve flapping around right there? That's right where my arm is. I don't like that. Look at that right there. You see it? That's a no-go. This thing needs a strap on it or something. I might go and look at a different jacket today. I hate that I just bought this one, but damn, man. Hey, this would make a nice scooter jacket, though. It would definitely make a nice scooter, but there's no drop tail in it. But it is. I mean, it's a badass looking jacket. That's why I bought it. It was only like 99 bucks. It's a Built Grid. B-I-L-T for those that don't know. Built Grid. It's a newer version of the Built Paddock, but I actually probably think the Paddock was a better jacket. I don't know, the sleeves look looser on this one than they did on the Paddock. Now, Built Gear, you know, that's Cycle Gear's in-house brand. They're not a bad brand. Their helmets are pretty good. Their jackets could be better. I'll say that. Their jackets, oh, whoa, the airflow on this helmet. I just opened up the top vents. Holy cow. That was surprising. Like, I got just a burst of wind all of a sudden on the inside of my helmet. Those vents work really freaking well. I almost don't even need them right now, to be honest, but I'm gonna open them anyway. I'm trying to see if they make any difference in noise in my helmet. I don't hear any different. Oh well. Yeah, I got the Punisher helmet and I threw a smoke visor on there. Just because I didn't want to do the mirrored visor, because it would look kind of weird with this helmet. I think I just heard my phone alarm or something going on. Oh well. This is just a sick looking bike, dude. Let me tell you, like, all right, I'm gonna tell y'all a funny ass story, and this shit, y'all gonna die laughing. All right, this is how you lose your cool points real quick. All right, so I'm at the gear place, right, and I'm buying some gear, and I've got this sick looking bike on the back of my truck, and I'm coming out with some sick looking gear. And there's these two super hot chicks standing at the back of my truck looking at my bike, and they're like, oh man, this bike looks incredible, all this stuff. And they're like, oh, is this your bike? I was like, yeah. And I was sitting there talking to them for a minute, and I was holding this gear, and it was like starting to get hot, and I was like, let me just put this gear in the truck. Now, let me explain something, man. Sometimes I let my dad borrow my truck. And my dad is one of those kind of people that just put shit in a truck. Just random shit. He uses storage, or he uses like a truck or a vehicle in general as storage. That's just what he does. And so I had no idea that he had just put like 12 rolls of toilet paper, not even in the wrappers, or not even in the bag, like just 12 rolls of toilet paper in the back on top of some box or something he put in there. And I didn't even notice this. The whole time I drove up there, I didn't even notice it because I didn't turn around and look in the back seat. And so I opened the back door of the truck, and I got these two hot girls. They've been talking about my bike. I've been flirting with them. I opened the door to put my gear in there, and fucking like 12 rolls of toilet paper fall out on the ground and like roll under the truck, and one of them comes undone and rolls across the parking lot. I was like, oh god damn it. And then the girls are like walking off laughing or giggling and shit, and I'm like, god damn it. It's like I'm about to pick all this toilet paper up in front of all these motherfuckers. God damn, this shit's embarrassing. And it was, man. I was like super fucking embarrassed. Anyway, that's just how it is. That's life. I was like, this is gay. I hate this. All right, anyway, fast forward to me riding home in traffic, and I'm in Atlanta traffic, and these motherfuckers are like, it's like bumper to bumper, and they're like honking at me and yelling stuff at me, and I'm like, what the fuck? Because I had like my earbuds in, I was listening to some podcasts and stuff, and I was like, what are these motherfuckers yelling? And so like I roll the window down, and this guy, he's like, dude, that is a sick looking bike. What size is that? And so I tell him, he's like, oh, that's badass for a fucking 250. And then you know, another mile up the road, I'm still in bumper to bumper traffic, and motherfuckers are honking at me again on the other side, and I roll the window down. They're like, dude, that bike looks sick. I'm like, thanks, appreciate it, and all this stuff. I mean, dude, people just fucking like to look at this bike. And I ain't gonna lie, dude, this bike looks fucking dope. Alright, motherfucker, go. Let's look at myself in here. Oh, damn, this bike does look dope. Slow ass traffic shit. Dude, you're doing 20. It's like a 45 mile an hour road. Go. Look in the mirror here. Yep, that is my alarm going off. Are you purposely going slow because I'm behind you? What the fuck's the deal, dude? Oh my god, jeez. What are you doing? He's just creeping, son. I hear the alarm going off on my phone. Oh my gosh, God. Go. Please don't be turning right there. Thank you, because I will. Wow, dude, the turning radius is amazing on this bike. I'll hand it that. Get some serious engine braking going on there. So, man, I know people say, you know, 600, 1,000 miles. But no, dude, technically, man, you can break an engine in like 200 miles, 150 miles, depending on how you ride it. Because the whole engine braking thing is left over from way back in the day when manufacturing, people were casting their own shit. Manufacturing wasn't as precise as it is today. But today, this shit's so precise. There's damn near any difference between a soft broke-in and a hard broke-in engine. And if you ride it really hard and you do a hard break-in for the first 100, 150 miles, you're good to go on modern day bikes. Because if anything's gonna break, it's gonna break within the first 100 miles. Hell, it'll break within the first 50 miles, to be honest. So I mean, you're kind of good to go. You don't have to do that. Now, that's not saying don't follow the maintenance. You know, do your oil change and change your fluids, all that kind of stuff when they're supposed to. Check your chain, all that kind of stuff. I just mean as far as like sticking to that. Don't go above this many RPMs for this many miles, and not, you don't have to stick to that. That's just, you know, they just have to say that these days, because most modern day bikes, you're good to go. Dang, man, it feels weird having to use all 4 fingers on this clutch lever. I'm gonna have to adjust that. It's just, I can't get used to it, because I'm used to holding it like this and just pow, tapping it with my 2 fingers. I don't know, it just feels weird. Yeah, man, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I like the red frame. Dude, that just looks sick. I like that the suspension spring's white, the frame's red, and the majority of the bike's black. Now, they have it in white and black, silver black, and black and matte black. I had the black and matte black. Originally, I wanted the white and black, but then they couldn't get a hold of it. Like, it's a long story. Like, it wasn't Wow's fault. It's they had one and I wanted it, and I started the loan process on it, but I didn't have at that moment I didn't have the 500 cash to throw as the security deposit on it. And that shit sold like right then. Somebody else came in and bought the white one. So I was like, dang. And they were like, don't worry, we got 10 more ordered, or 11 more orders, something like that. But turns out there wasn't a white one in that order, so I'm glad I went with the black. Damn, bro. Take your time, I'm gone. Alright, so anyway, I end up with the black one. I mean, I chose the black one in the end. When I say end up, I don't mean like, wow, like, here, this is all we got. I meant like I chose the black one. But yeah, dude, they were on point, man. I mean, as soon as that other one sold, James got a hold of me. He was like, bro, the bike sold. Don't worry. I put in an order for 11 more. We're going to get you a bike. And I was like, awesome. I didn't even have to ask him, like, hey, can you order me one? Or he was like, I'm on it. Don't worry. So if you guys are looking at the Hyosung GD250R and you're wondering, is this a good bike? Yes. I feel like I've given you enough information in this video for you to understand and drive home that this is not a piece of Chinese junk. Alright, these are not random letters on the side. You can adjust the rear sets. You can adjust the brake levers. It's just, it's a well-built machine. It runs good, it's built solid, it feels great, it's super stable, it's not buzzy for a single cylinder. I'm actually impressed at how unbuzzy it is for a single cylinder. It's just, damn, that key ring, I don't know, that's probably hitting you on the video lens. Yeah, it's pronounced Hyosung, like yo, except with an H. Hyosung. So yeah, let's start calling it what it's really called, guys. Hyosung, not Hyosung. Yeah, if you want one of these bikes, Wow Motorcycles in Marietta, Georgia has got about 10 of these in stock now. Some silver and black, some black and matte black. Definitely go up there, tell James, say, hey James, Mirror Mask, also known as David, Mirror Mask sent me up here, I want to buy one of these. He said you can hook me up on the price, because let me tell you the price. These things out the door, tax and all, $3,050. That's it. That's it. Because they can sell it that cheap, because not only are they trying to reestablish the Hyosung brand in America, but the importer of Hyosung America is right there near the Wow Motorcycles dealership. That's why the Koreans walked in there. It's right there. It's like within, 20-30 miles from there at tops. So that's why, they're getting them straight from the importer. They're not marking them up that much. They're trying to reestablish the brand in America because they tried, you know, a while back with the GT line, and that shit just, I don't know, man, it kind of took off. Their 650 was, you know, kind of took off, but people just didn't give them a chance. They're like, oh, cheap price must be cheap bike. No, let me explain how business works. When you're trying to establish yourself in the market, you don't come in with the same prices that everyone else does. So no, they're not cheap bikes. Yes, they're cheap in price because they're trying to entice you to buy them and give them a chance. But they're very well solid built bikes. I'm just gonna kind of roll on and off the throttle right now before I pull in my dry whip here. Try to run the RPMs, drop the RPMs, run the RPMs, drop the RPMs. Yeah, so yeah, hook them, you know, they'll hook you up, dude. Out the door, tax and all, everything, $3,050. Now, most places, they're going to be up around the $4,000 range. They're going to be around the $3,500 range at some of them. But this one, no. This one, now that's not the out-the-door price at the other places. The out-the-door price at this one's $3,050, but the sticker price is $2,300. Check them out, wildmotorcycles.com. It'll blow your mind how much difference the price is between theirs and everyone else's on this bike. And it's simply because they are right there. The importer's working with them because they know they're one of the largest dealerships, so they're working them out, I guess cutting them some a deal and everything, saying, hey, look, you know, selling for this blah blah blah, you know, it's fine. Because they were higher than that, and then I checked their site the other day and I was like, holy shit, it's only $2,300 now? Oh man, I called the bank. I jumped on it immediately. I've been wanting one of these bikes for a while. I don't know, I've always either not had the money at the time I felt like buying it, or I couldn't get a hold of the money, or I had too many bikes in the stable already, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But anyway, I'm gonna pull up here real quick and I'll let you guys go. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, leave any questions below. Link to my podcast 0 through 1, check that out, review it and all that stuff. That's on iTunes, link below on that. My gear that I use, I have to update with my new gear, but all that's links are below for that. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Oh, there we go. So, Mirror Mask out. Peace.